What is going on, guys? So in today's video we're going to be doing a DIY install of the M2 competition style bumper for the M140. So yeah, hoping this will make it look a little bit more aggressive and a lot more meaner than the factory bumper. So yeah, I guess let's get started. I'm hoping it's going to be a quick and easy install, but to be honest, it never is, so we'll see what happens. I'll run some clips now of what the bumper looked like when it came, just so you can see like how it looked. And yeah, we'll get straight into it. All right, so as you can see, the bumper came primered but not painted. So I had to take it to a local body shop to get it painted in Alpine white to match the rest of the car. To be honest, I'm happy with the finish of the paint, but the match wasn't the best. So I didn't want to get it blended or anything because when I come to sell the car, I want to put the original bumper back on. But the guy said it should match. In certain lights, it's fine, but in direct sunlight, like the bonnet and bumper, you can tell is slightly different. So yeah, you got to keep that in mind, I guess. So anyway, in terms of what came with the kit, it came with obviously the bumper. Then there was a box full of like all these extra things. So this is the gross actually for that side. But yeah, goes like that. This grill obviously is for the centerpiece there. And then that one is obviously for that side. Obviously it also came with the main grills there, which will go like that. Does come with a little sticker slot there. Obviously not going to be putting M2 on that. I've seen recently someone's on the Facebook forum has made like M140I stickers, which potentially could get to go there. And then also I had to buy these separately because my car didn't come with front sensors. So if they do, they're literally a straight swap, straight into there. But if you don't have it, you can buy some blanks. So I bought these from M Style, and they'll literally just slot on over there. So obviously I don't want to keep them black because they will stand out quite a bit. So I had some touch-up paint lying around, and I think there's enough paint in there to get those done at least. So what we'll do is we'll spray some primer onto them and then just touch it up with that basically. The other thing I need to do is I bought some mesh right here. So the idea with this is because the charge cooler is right behind there, and these grills are pretty fat. So essentially I'm gonna cut this out and put it behind there so it goes like that. And then I'm also just gonna do those two as well. Cool, so the first thing I guess we can do is slot the grills in to the bumper. Literally just a case of pushing these in. Probably would be easier with two hands. So this is what it looks like with the grills in, and already it looks 100 times better. So I can only imagine what it will look like once that stuff's all in the bottom. All right, so I've gone ahead and cut out the mesh to size so that it fits the middle piece here and then also the two side ones. What you are going to need is some really small and thin cable ties, ideally in black as well so you can't see it, and then just pin it in the four corners so that it doesn't come off basically. As you can see, it looks pretty cool as well. And yeah, just give it that little bit of extra protection against stones. All right, so next up is the parking sensors. So I found some white primer lying around in the garage, which I'm going to use. I'm hoping it's still in date, but essentially just going to shake it up and give it a light coat of this primer. And then I'm going to take it inside and use the touch-up pen to try and match it up. All right, so I've painted the base coat of primer onto the sensors and let it dry. And now we're going to go ahead with the touch-up paint and just try and give it a few coats to match it and blend it into the rest of the bumper. So if you get these sprayed at the same time you get your bumper resprayed, would obviously be the better way to go about doing it. But I didn't have them in time, so I'm going to have to resort to this. So as I'm putting it on, you can see the difference between like the standard primer white and then the Alpine white, which has kind of got like a grey, dully kind of effect to it. And when you do this, make sure you paint the edges as well, because when you put it in the bumper, you're going to see a little bit of the rim as well. So just make sure you cover everything. All right, so I've literally just test fit the parking sensor now that I've sprayed it. And I'm not going to lie, it's a decent match. Obviously, like if you go close, you can tell that it's not exactly the same, but from far, looks pretty good. All right, so now we get onto the fun part of actually installing it onto the car. So go ahead and open up the bonnet and remove this little rubber strip, and that is going to reveal 6 T27 Torx screws along the top. So you're going to need to remove them. You can obviously do it by hand, or if you've got one of those electric tools, just makes it a little bit easier. All right, so after you've got the top off, to take the 2 screws here, you need to take off 3 screws right there. And then there's 2 screws that go across like this, and you need to push the fender liner back and try and get into it like that. All right, so I took this back and put this in there with the extender, the angled one, and then it allowed me to get off the thing. So once you've got both sides off underneath, you then need to go to the bottom of the car. So if you've got a splitter, take off the splitter, and you'll see a couple screws like this. Again, they're the same sockets that were used for the fender liner. So take them off. I don't know how many there was. I think there was about 10, I'd say. But yeah, once you've got that off, that is pretty much it. You're good to go. It's fairly straightforward to take it off. And if you do get stuck, there's other videos on YouTube that go into a little bit more detail with that. But yeah, essentially then you just want to gently take it off the car. So I've noticed some cars have the washer caps and some don't. Mine does, and on the driver's side door, you'll have this little hose pipe, and that basically connects to the washer, the headlight washer lamps. So take that off, and you're going to need to keep it up. I had to tie it around the car using some like elastic bands, because as soon as it gets angled down, like all the fluid will just come pouring out. All right, so once the bumper's off, you need to take off a few things from this bumper to transfer to the new one. One being all the hoses that you can see here wrapped around. So slowly remove them. And also the 2 fluid jets, you need to take them off as well and insert them onto the new bumper. This was a big surprise because I haven't seen anyone else talk about this or have this issue. So yeah, just keep that in mind. You also need these clips. There's 2 metal clips on either side. Actually, there's 3, one at the bottom as well. On either side of the bumper. Make sure you take them off and place them into the new bumper here. All right, so I struggled a bit to take these fluid jets out. Don't yank it because they will break. What you want to do is pull in these 2 tabs here, pull up on them and just wiggle it about, and it should come out a little bit easier. All right, so once the new jets are into the bumper, you want to just route the piping along the top of the grills just to make sure they're out of the way and don't get stuck. All right, now for the magnet plates. So I had them like this before for that bumper. As you can see, the magnets are still there. But because that one's a lot thinner, what I'm going to have to do is put the plates sideways like this at the top. So, as you can see, that's how strong the magnets are. I'm just going to be scraping off this, and then I'm going to retape them up there. All right, so all the magnets are now put over there. So 2, 2, 2, 2. I had to reuse some tape because I took it off my old bumper, which was there. What I'm going to do now is just put some tape across it and leave it like that. Okay, so I've just finished the magnum plates on there. So as you can see, it comes off and then locks into place, just like that. Right, so what I've done is I've just taken off the badge from the original bumper, and I'm just going to put some tape and hopefully fit just like that. All right, so once you've done all that, you're pretty much ready to fit the bumper to the car. It was pretty difficult. I didn't manage to record me actually doing it because it wouldn't fit, and I'll show you why it didn't fit after. But as soon as that happened, I put the camera away to try and just get it sorted. But essentially, you need to cut off a little bit of a trim. The couple videos that I've seen online of people fitting this, they haven't had that issue. I did, so I don't know if it's the later model cars or the facelift ones. I'm not too sure. Essentially, you want to put it on the same way you took it off. You want to make sure these tabs at the bottom go underneath the trim, and just make sure it's all pushed in nicely. I did have some trouble putting the screws in, but I'm just going to put that down to it being an aftermarket bumper. but with a bit of pulling and tugging, it managed to all go in pretty nicely in the end. So this is how much I had to cut off. The bumper literally would not go on without me shaving this off. So get a little hacksaw or something and just shave off that little bit of trim. Once you do that, it should go on a lot better. These screws at the top also are pretty important. You want to make sure they're all lined up before you tighten them. And then, yeah. Final thing is to get the screws on the fender, and that will close up the gap that you can see here. Yeah, I'd recommend jacking the car up. I did have to jack it up because I spent like an hour trying to do it without it and it just would not work. But anyway, guys, that's been it for the video. If you did enjoy it, be sure to drop a like rating and subscribe for more DIY mods. If you want to see more videos and pictures of what the bumper actually looks like now, follow me on my Instagram. I'll leave it on screen now. I've posted a load of pictures with it fitted. I've actually got a splitter ordered as well, so we'll be installing that soon. And yeah, any questions, drop them in the comment section below, or drop me a DM on Instagram and I'll probably get back to you a lot quicker there. But yeah, anyway, I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.